Hey y'all, it's Brennan with BRB Racing, and I'm finally doing the video I said I would up a while back. I'm doing the talking over commentary, whatever you want to call it, over the state championship race footage. I thought this would be something kind of interesting to do for those people who don't know a lot about racing, or those people who do, and just add something a little extra. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So really fast, I'm going to pause there. On the starting grid, which is that cement pad I was just on, I don't know if you know this or not, but because I'm running a two-stroke, on these carts, first of all, we run a KTM Yamaha 100cc two-stroke engine. And on the starting grid there, my engine doesn't quite have the tune set up with the carburetor so where it can idle. So I burp it is what we call it, where I just hit the throttle every once in a while so the car doesn't die and doesn't starve itself of oil or gas. Yeah. And then actually right here, coming out of turn 1, entering turn 2, you can see how much of that dust is on the track, because it was a very dry day on this day. So track was a dry slick instead of a wet slick. And my tire, you can even see it there. When it gets the dust on it, it grabs the dust, because we put a special chemical on the tires to make them stickier, softens up the rubber. And it pulls in the dust, and it's like driving on ice for a minute, for a few laps. Alright, here we go. Heat race number 2. Oh, it's qualifying, my bad. Qualifying. Real quickly, before I accidentally completely ignore the guy who's going to tell me to stop because I was too focused. If you see right now, my hand is off my steering wheel, and it's reaching over my lap. My left hand is off my steering wheel, reaching over my lap, and it is adjusting the carburetor on my engine, because when we start up the engines, my carburetor is closed quite a bit. So there's not a ton of fuel oil getting in, and that's just so the engine has just enough fuel and oil to start. And then when I go out, I open it a half turn when I get on the track. And then after doing that clean out lap, I might just tap it a little bit more, might open it a little bit more. That's what I'm doing right here. All right, let's go ahead and watch me blow past the flag.
Our senior Yamaha qualifiers. Our final qualifying class now making their way onto the racetrack. Doing that clean out lap. There you have the 36 of Brandon Thorkelson, rocking the Big Daddy's Lounge, forever remembered. The black cart. The 34 of Brandon Anderson and the 7 of Brian Good. Brian Good also doing double duty, running senior medium. Same with Brandon Thorkelson. Oh, Brian Good spinning out. I believe he did get 1 lap in. So that first lap session, we're looking at time.
And then right here, when I reach down to adjust the carburetor again, I'm actually closing it so that when so that it's ready to start for the next race. And when I close it like that too, at the lower speeds, it's not trying to chug a bunch of gas and oil, and it won't kill itself. You know, it won't drown itself pretty much. Yeah.
Brian Good, third quick, 1.849. Brandon Anderson, second quick, 10.925. And Brandon Thorkelson, Kurt, top senior Yamaha qualifier, 10.58 2/1000s.
All right, here we go. This is the first heat. Yeah, right there, when you hear you start up the car, and it either doesn't start right away or it does that, where it goes, that means it's either too rich, too lean, whatever. So I'll adjust the carb quite a bit. And I've actually heard from a guy that I race with that one time in his senior Yamaha, whenever he's gonna get started and his has to be closed a lot, he closes it pretty much almost till there's no fuel or oil getting in, and it'll immediately fire on the fuel oil that's in the engine. And then he says he just immediately cranks it back open. So, yeah.
Starting lineup.
So on the bottom there, that's actually a pretty good talking point in my opinion, is when it says current lap and it says clean out, basically all a clean out lap is us just going around the track 1 lap, full speed pretty much, so that we can clean out our engines, because, well, if you don't close your engine when you come off the last race, you're gonna have a lot of fuel and crap still in there, and that clean out lap just helps, well, you know, clean it out so it runs better, faster.
Road 2, 23 at Kylie Morrison up Grafton, North Dakota. She'll be next to her teammate, the 7 of Brian Good of Grand Forks, North Dakota. And in row 1, the 34 of Brandon Anderson of Grand Forks, North Dakota, next to the 36 of...
Right there, that's the little quarter turn, or not even a quarter turn, just the little tab open that I was talking about earlier.
Brandon Thorkelson, Brandon Anderson, leading us to Green Flag Racing. Brandon.
I'm gonna stop it right here, and this track, not to diss the track workers or anything, it was honestly a good track for what they could get, but running that outside line there right off the start, you get so much dust on your tires coming through that first turn that you kind of drift it pretty much. But it was still a really good track for what they had to work with, and as the night went on, it got better, which I'll tell you about, but let's get back into it.
Wilson ahead of Brandon Anderson and the flag stand. 1 lap in the books. Your race leader, Brandon Thorkelson, in the Big Daddy's Lamb lounge cart. Anderson in second, Brian Good in third, Kylie Mars in fourth.
Right there, that little turn into the turn, I started turning too late because I ended up getting a little bit of dust on my tires. And my normal line, when you have dust on your tires, I require too much grip to turn in where I normally do, and the dust goes on the tires, and well, that happens.
Sierra packs up speed as Brian Good overtakes.
Then right there, Brian messed up just the tiniest bit coming out of the turn. He sent it into the turn with too much speed, and he slid up the track there, and I, well, took my opportunity, and I got right underneath him.
Racing there with Brian Good and Brandon Anderson in that battle for second. Brandon Anderson had quite the moment talking to him in a post-race interview, picking up his first ever senior Yamaha feature win earlier this season. Brandon Thormelson, part of the rotating Thormelsons with Adam and Ryan taking turns running that Big Daddy's Lounge Cart. Though they did have some guest drivers with Kyle Jarvis earlier in the season. And I believe Brett Anderson as well. All kinds of fun happening this year Yamaha class. 2 laps to go. Yeah, Brandon Thormelson, Brandon Anderson, Brian.
Right there, I am so lucky I didn't get past. I don't remember how far behind Brian and Kylie were, but right there, that little mistake in these things could have screwed my whole race, because sliding up too high out of the turn leaves you completely defenseless, because when you're running a low line like that, it's called a defensive line, because you need to run like an oval shape on the track, you know, make it, or a circular shape on the track, you know. And when you're running really low like that, if someone tries to pass you on the outside, well, they're going to be in the dust. And if someone tries to go past you on the inside, you're already in the middle of the track, so they're going to be down on the bottom and have to slam on their brakes going into the turn, which I actually did that to someone. I don't remember if it was Brian, but I did that to someone, and it was kind of paid off.
Good, and Kylie Martin, your running order. White flag.
Again, right there, so lucky I didn't get past. I went in the dust, and I took the turn too wide, and I ended up drifting it out, and lucky I didn't get past.
Race winner, Brandon Thormelson, followed by Brandon Anderson second, Brian Good third, and Kylie Martin fourth. Once again, your race winner, Brandon Thormelson.
Alrighty, this is feature number 1. Yep, show 1 feature.
Your starting lineup. Row 2, we have the 23 of Kylie Martinson of Grafton, North Dakota, next to the 7 of Brian Good of Grand Forks, North Dakota. And in row 1, the 34 of Brandon Anderson of Grand Forks, next to the 36 of Brandon Thormelson of Grand Forks, North Dakota. Drivers going 15 laps to wrap up our final feature race of our first show. Brandon Thormelson, Brandon Anderson.
Right there, I got really lucky. I was able to not get the jump on the leader because we were before the cone, so I couldn't go until he did. But when he hit the gas all the way down, I had a faster takeoff with my gearing and was able to get in front of him here, which is ideal.
Lights out, away we go racing. Lap in the books, trying to make a move.
But as you can see right there, he had so much speed and his cart was set up that he just right past me. Didn't even touch me.
4. Now Brian Good sneaking by on the inside.
Did you see that? That little coming out of turn number 2, that little drift coming out of turn number 2 allowed him to get past me. Smallest little mistake.
Brian Good now gaining ground on Brandon Thorvaldson. Back to catching up to Brian Good. Oh, Brian Good.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened when he went off. I have no idea.
And moves into P2. About past the halfway mark. 9 laps in, 6 laps to go. Now Brian Good catching back up to Brandon Anderson, maybe trying to retake second place.
If I pause the video right now, you can see a little pattern in the tire there. My tire is starting to roll over, which I showed you guys what that looked like before. But if you don't know, that's pretty much where a part of the tire starts like deteriorating, because it has grip, and when tires slide, when grippy, it's rubber, they start rolling up. And that's like driving literally on marbles, because your tire's still sticky, so it grabs those little rolls of rubber and doesn't let them go. And yeah, so that, you don't want that happening mid-race. That sucks, but...
Brandon Thorvaldson looking mighty good in that Big Daddy Lounge cart. Has a sizable lead over Brandon Anderson. Down to our final 3 laps. Anderson starting to open up a little bit of a gap over Brian Good by just a couple of carts as we get the 2 to go cue. Brandon Thorvaldson now approaching the lap car of Kylie Martinson. White flag, final lap. Coming in and out of turns 3 and 4, your race winner, Brandon Thorvaldson. It's going to be a close battle for second in these last couple of turns. Finishing second, Brandon Anderson. And finishing third, Brian Good. And finishing fourth, Kylie Martinson.
Alright, show 2 heat race number 2, which, if you didn't know, when we change our heat races, we just flip the grid. So whoever's back here in 4th now starts 1st, back here in 3rd starts 2nd, 2nd starts 3rd, 1st starts 4th, so on and so forth. We just flip. That's why you see us do a lot of the double heat races. Yeah. Also, we go so fast through the different races that the show would be too fast if every class just did 1 heat race.
Making their way onto the racetrack, our senior Yamaha heat race. Here's your starting lineup. In row 2, the 34 of Brandon Anderson and the 36 of Brandon Thorvaldsen. And in row 1, the 23 of Kylie Martinson and the 7 of Brian Good. Kylie Martinson, Brian Good, making green flag racing go. Oh, here comes.
That was that maneuver I was talking about earlier where you go down on the inside on someone driving a defensive line. You have to slam the brakes going into the turn.
And Thorvaldsen right on the rear. Brandon Anderson there. Kylie Martinson falls back. Brian Good moves that. Brandon Thorvaldsen now getting by Brandon Anderson on the backstretch. New race leader, Brandon Thorvaldsen. Took another lap in. Big Daddy's Lounge car leading the way.
Right there, happened again. I got dust on my tires, went too wide.
Skittish. Brian Good makes good to move into P2. At the halfway point, 5 laps in, 5 laps down. Brandon Thorvaldsen still leading the way. Brian Good in second. Brandon Anderson just behind Good in third. And Kylie Martinson rounding out the field. Very close battle for second place between Brandon Anderson and Brian Good. In the 2 to go queue from the flanks down. White flag final lap for Brandon Thorvaldsen. Good in second, Anderson in third, Martinson in fourth. They're coming in and out of turn 3 and in and out of turn 4. Your senior Yamaha heat race winner, Brandon Thorvaldsen. Followed by Brian Good second, Brandon Anderson third, and Kylie Martinson fourth.
Alrighty, this is the Show 2 feature. Which, by the way, part of the reason I did so bad in this feature race here is because we were running the features. And then I think it was 4 races before mine, it started raining. And the track crew went out and they started working the track, you know, packing all that water down and whatever. So this is like quite a few hours after that last race. And I was more tired because I was sitting pretty much the whole time, and yeah, so that's part of the reason I did pretty bad in this race. Another reason I did pretty bad in this race is that front tire. You can already see it's still has some of the rolling going on, and me and my dad, we grinded that tire quite a bit, pretty deep, and that tire it's got nothing left to it. It's done. Like I was telling my dad, I feel like if we take that off the rim, I think the tire's just gonna dissolve. I mean,
Good.
I don't know if you saw that right there, but I accidentally clipped Brian's left rear bumper, and I turned away because I didn't want to push him, and I accidentally pulled his wing, or his panel, wedge panel, out a little bit from his car. I feel so bad because I didn't mean to. I was trying not to hit the brakes hard enough to make myself spin, but I was also trying to use as much as I could, and I was also still slightly hitting the gas because, well, I didn't want my engine to die.
Drivers are in formation. They have the carts, they have the drivers. Brandon Thorvaldsen, Brian Good, Kylie Martinson, Brandon Anderson going around one more time, getting ready to kick off our final race of the season. Our final 20 laps of the season at Forks Karting Speedway is go! Brian Good falling to the back of the pack there off that opening set of turns. Brandon Thorelson rocketing ahead at 1 lap in the books, the race leader. Brandon Anderson and Kylie Martin pretty close together there in that battle for second. With Martin, Anderson, and Good all pretty close to each other in that battle for second place. Another lap led for Brandon Thorelson. Brandon Thorelson continuing that trend. Maybe looking at another possible 2-for-1 feature winner here in the Big Daddy's Lounge Cards. Brandon Anderson trying to catch up to Kylie Martin.
It's about right here where I start falling back quite a bit.
Maybe not even a full car length behind Martin. Brian Good, same can be said for him on Anderson. That's a really close for second, third, and fourth. Brian Good just sneaking around on the inside of Brandon Anderson. Turn one, nice move by Brian Good. These senior Yamaha cars, they bring the speed. What a way to close off our race night, close out our season with some of our fastest karts of the night. Spoken to all these drivers in victory lane interviews, all have great stories this year, their own stories to tell. Kylie Mars was a 2-for-1 feature winner here, rocking the Masters also earlier this year. Same with Brian Good with the senior medium as well. But talking to Brandon Anderson with this first feature win, the senior Yamahas, all great stories this race season. Heck, if you want to see some good first-person action, I highly recommend tracking out Brandon Anderson's GoPro YouTube videos. BRB Racing.
I didn't know he did that. Neither did my dad. My dad and I, obviously I'm racing, can't hear the announcer. And then my dad was live streaming, so he was too focused on what we were doing to be listening to the announcer. But that was really cool that he shouted that out. That was a fun little token to find when I was adding in the announcer audio. Thank you, Dale, by the way.
You can see the first-person view of the senior Yamahas for yourself. Back on the track, Brian Good's approaching the rear of Kylie Martin, their teammates, but right now they're competitors battling out for that P2. Brandon Thorelson has a nice big lead, looking at about just under a 5-second lead over Kylie Martin, your poor Brandon Thorelson. Down to our final 4 laps of the season. Will Brian Good be able to make a move to get past Martin for P2? Looking at Thorelson, Martinson, Good, and Anderson, your current running order. Down to our 2 to go queue from the flag stand. Good still trying to work on catching Martinson for second place. White flag, final lap. Good trying to get by Martinson with their final lap to go. Bringing home the win, this never closing time, your winner, the 36, the Big Daddy's Lounge cart of Brandon Thorelson, followed by Kylie Martin second, Brian Good third, Brandon Anderson fourth. What a final race of the season, folks.
Alrighty, well I ended up somehow getting second for the day. I'll put the photo up. But yeah, that was a really fun day. I'm not even gonna lie, it was really fun. Best sleep I've gotten in a while, let me tell you what. But yeah, thanks to you guys on YouTube here for checking out the videos, sticking with me, subscribing if you have, liking, commenting, whatever, anything. Yeah, thank you guys for making this year better. Thank you guys for giving me the motivation to go out and, you know, work on my car or whatever, even though I didn't record a single week work video. So sorry. But yeah, I hope to see you guys next season, and hope to see you tune in if I find something to post over the winter season. I guess I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.